Hi, I'm Huang. I'm the chef of Pecking House here in Chinatown. And today we're gonna make my perfect fried chicken sandwich. I started working in Michelin-starred restaurants in 2010. After a long, somewhat illustrious career in fine dining, I make fried chicken now. A perfect fried chicken sandwich has hot, crispy, juicy chicken, nice soft bread, Kewpie mayonnaise, chili oil, and bread and butter pickles. Let's make a fried chicken sandwich. Let's make a fried chicken sandwich. I like the knife hand. It feels more strong and confident. When making a fried chicken sandwich, I think thighs or breast meat are the way to go. We use thighs because I think it has a lot better of a texture. I'm gonna look through these chicken thighs. I'm cool with all these little extra bits here. They're just gonna be more interesting fried textures later. Obviously, Western culture kind of puts a preference on white meat. We're in Chinatown. Chinese people love dark meat. If you cook dark meat past 185, that is the temperature after which collagen, gelatin, all those things break down. It's going to be really tender. The buttermilk marinade is going to increase that perception. Cartilage is never going to cook down. We want to remove it for like a boneless eating experience in a sandwich. Here's a little bit of something here. I'll cut that out. Just a little piece. So when you're poking through the grocery store aisle for chicken thighs, look for ones that are big and uniform, and you'll be able to make a really nice chicken sandwich. All right, let's buttermilk marinate slash brine slash season our chicken here. So we're gonna obviously start off with some buttermilk. This is kind of a weak acid that helps with improving the texture of what we're marinating, and it's gonna add a little bit of fat and serve as sort of a binder for the other things we're adding. We call it the marinade step, but it's actually combining a lot of steps. We're marinating, we're seasoning, and we're brining all at the same time. Brining basically means that you're adding salt to your product, and that will help it retain moisture and waters. This is our seasoning mix. This is a blend of salt, sugar, and MSG. 3 parts salt, 1 part MSG, 1 part sugar. That for us is the perfect balance to bring moisture retention, savoriness, and just like a hint of sweetness to balance the salt out. And whenever you're seasoning meat, you're using more than you think, because meat just really takes a lot of salt to get seasoned all the way through. And obviously MSG, I've been on my soapbox here many times talking about MSG and why it has been wrongly maligned throughout history. Anyone trying to tell you that MSG in crystalline form is different from MSG in tomatoes is fear-mongering and giving you bad science. And then I'm gonna add some Dijon mustard here. You can use any kind of mustard. I just like Dijon. When you cook mustard, the pungency dies down a lot of sulfur compounds dissipate. So really what it adds is all the savory, mellow notes that are behind the spiciness. I'm gonna add garlic powder, huge prevalent ingredient in Southern fried chicken. Onion powder as well. I'm gonna add my 5-spice powder. 5-spice is primarily the anise flavor from the star anise pods. Such a prevalent flavor in all Chinese cooking. And then this is kind of our secret little trick. We add flour. So the flour is going to absorb the moisture from the buttermilk and the chicken overnight. That's gonna cause the starch granules to swell with water, and that's what gives gluten its strength. And giving the hydration, giving the gluten some strength is going to improve the crust later. We're gonna marinate this at least for 12 hours. 24 is probably ideal. Chicken, it has been marinating. We're gonna dredge it. Our dredge is a mix of flour, potato starch, cornstarch. Marries a lot of crunchy and crispy textures. Cornstarch, potato starch, definitely on the crispy side. Flour, more on the crunchy side. So I think this is right in the middle. We're gonna let it sit in the dredge for a little bit. Because it's a thigh and there's a lot of uneven surfaces, as you see, there's a lot of craggly textures to be over here. If you don't literally press the flour into it, it won't stick to. Shake it off a little bit. And then we use Evercrisp, a modified starch. It's basically Benefiber, modified wheat dextrin. We use about 10% by weight of the dredge. And what that does is slows the movement of water. So it traps water, and that makes for some super crispy chicken. I think the biggest mistakes that home cooks make is they don't get the dredge timing quite right. They either go too quickly and it's not coated evenly, and then they get this like patchy fried chicken where the crust kind of falls apart, or they let it sit too long and it overhydrates and it becomes like a really thick shell that doesn't have like a lot of nice crispy textures to it. It's kind of right in the middle, and it's kind of a visual cue. You can kind of see it where there's all these little small bits. So I, as a time reference, use for about a minute or two to sit in the dredge, making sure it's really evenly coated, and then go into the oil. I'm gonna gently lay it in there. Probably don't have one of these in your home. I don't blame you. Deep fryers are dangerous, messy. I recommend pan frying at home. I'm frying at 325 degrees Fahrenheit. That's kind of the Goldilocks zone where the starches and the protein are going to brown and the water is still going to evaporate. If you go too cool with your oil, you're not creating enough steam. The steam that's escaping the chicken is repelling the oil, which is going to prevent your crust from being too greasy. If it's too hot, obviously it's going to burn. And it's too dark, that's unpleasant. So 325F is kind of the golden zone. This is gonna be frying for about 8 minutes, but that's just a guideline. For true precision, use a thermometer. The temperature for cooking chicken is 165F for dark meat, for getting the right texture, where it's tender, it's not bouncy, and it eats well like in a sandwich. You need to get past 185F, past the point where gelatin and collagen will break down. We're also going to be double frying. So this is the first fry where we want to get the protein to the temperature we want, so above 185F. Resting, the most important thing we're trying to achieve is just bringing down the temperature of the protein. Letting the moisture redistribute. When we fry it the second time, we're really just bringing the crust back to where we want it. Hot, shatteringly crisp. That's kind of the whole purpose behind resting it. This looks nice and rested. This is still quite hot. So for our second fry, we're gonna do about a minute to make the crust really, really, really crispy. Obviously, fried chicken needs to be somewhere on the spectrum of crispy to crunchy. Crispy is the front of your teeth. Crunchy is the back of your teeth. We try to go right in the middle, maybe a little bit more on the crispy side. All right, chicken. Fried for the second time. This is our chili oil, Pecking House's chili oil. This is what makes Pecking House Pecking House. It looks very simple, but there's a lot of love and technique in here. We toast our own chilies, toast our own Sichuan peppercorns, we grind them ourselves. We use Tianjin chilies. They're like a medium heat. We add sugar, salt, MSG, vinegar powder. We bring acidity to it. And then we make an herbed duck fat. Duck fat basically improves anything that's fried. Also high quality Sichuan peppercorns. The redder they are, the better they are. The more citrus aromas they'll have and the more tingly they'll be. And then we're gonna dunk it. I used to delicately paint this on, but we got too busy. So we started just dunking chicken in. You want to do this when the chicken is hot and the chili oil is room temperature, because then they're going to kind of repel one another. It's going to drain ever so slightly. Look at it. Look at this thing. It's gorgeous, isn't it? So we didn't trim it up too much. So you see there's all these little crispy textures. That's going to come through really beautifully when we put this on a brioche bun. We're going to let it drain while we build the rest of our sandwich. I'm going to toast this bread up. We're using a brioche bun. You can use butter. I like using mayo because makes for a really even crust. And basically what's gonna happen here is the mayonnaise is going to break into oil and egg and brown really beautiful. Brioche has a ton of butter already, so I don't think we need more butter. Toasting creates a lot of Maillard reactions. The browning, caramelized notes kind of bring out the sweetness in bread. And also heating up bread, especially brioche, changes it. It makes it a little more chewy feeling when you're eating it. I really like pressing bread while it's toasting on a griddle. If you are making a singular perfect sandwich, as we are today, then I highly recommend this step. All right, so we have all the things. We have our beautifully toasted brioche. We have our Kewpie mayonnaise, different from normal mayonnaise. As you can see here, it has a very dense texture, almost like a shiny appearance to it, and it stands very firm and smooth in this way. Having tasted these side by side with kind of more pedestrian mayonnaise, if you will, I think the Kewpie makes a big difference. Bread and butter pickles, crinkle cut, a little bit sweet, definitely a little bit tangy. And then of course we have the fried chicken thigh dipped in chili oil. And then as I was saying, you have to give it a delicate little smoosh, just a little bit. You don't want to smash the bread. I don't know how to say smoosh in Spanish though, so I think my staff think I'm crazy. Look at that, it's glorious. Look at all those textures. Looks like a food style dad, except it's completely edible and delicious. You know, I really love that we didn't trim this up too much and we weren't too precious about making it a very specific uniform shape. You know, it's not like a burger or anything. It's got all these kind of craggly textural bits. I think that's the stuff that makes it really wonderful. That's pretty good, man. Look at that. Structural integrity. Took a singular bite out of it and nothing moved. It's checking all the boxes. Structural integrity, crispy, seasoned, juicy, hot. It's got the nice texture of the pillowy bread against the crispy, meaty chicken. A little bit of Papa Zing and crunch from the pickles, creamy mayo. It's good, man. It's really, really good. Chicken sandwiches, there's a reason they're so popular. They just hit all the things in your brain, in your silly little caveman reptile brain. This lights all the things up, makes you happy. You need a little bit of that because it's dark out there, you know?